Hi everybody, Keith Tanner here from Flyin Miata, and today we're going to talk about main relays and how to prevent them from failing, or more specifically, how to upgrade your fuel pump wiring so that you don't have a chance of failure. So, the main relay lives under the hood. Come on over here, Travis. This is an NA and NB part. Your main relay lives under the hood in the fuse box. It may be labeled fuel injection, it may be labeled main relay, depending on the year of the car. But this relay runs a very large percentage of the car. It wakes up the ECU, it provides power to the fuel injectors, a few emissions control things, but most importantly also the fuel pump. So there's quite a bit of stuff. If this fails to come online, your car doesn't work. And that's what happens. That's what the failure mode is. The way they usually fail is the car is working just fine, it's working just fine, because it's a mechanical relay. They're either open or they're closed. The car is working fine, and then you park it. When you go back to the car, it cranks and nothing else. It's just dead. That's the usual way they fail. And it's become more and more common as the NAs and the NBs get older. It can also fail in competition. Back in 2011, we were racing the Targa Newfoundland. We're in the middle of day 4. We had a good lead in the open class division. And right in the middle of a corner, main relay let go, car coasted to a stop. And instead of winning the division, we ended up on the podium because it took more than 5 minutes worth of penalties in terms of just trying to get that thing back up and running. We had to tow back to service. So they can fail during use, and they will probably not fail at a time that you want them to. If you're lucky, it'll fail in your garage when you've got nothing else to do but play around with your Miata. In the real world, that rarely is the actual case. So why do they fail? Well, some of it is just simply age. They are mechanical device. Mechanical devices age with you know, it's been 34 years since the first NA Miatas hit the road. A bit of corrosion on the terminals can also lead to excess heat, which is the enemy of mechanical devices like this. And of course, the more corrosion you get, the more heat you get through there, the worse it gets. It's a terrible cycle. And another common problem is running a higher power fuel pump, because that puts more load on the relay. There's more current running through it than it's designed to handle. And over time, that means that the relay will fail. To give you an idea of numbers, the DW100 pump that we use as our factory drop-in replacement pump for cars like these pulls 4.2 amps at 40 PSI. The DW300, which is what we sell as a high power pump for turbo cars and for V8s or whatever, pulls 12 amps. That's 3 times as much power. 3 times as much current going through this little relay, which already, of course, has some other jobs to do. So this is a problem. Obviously, you don't want these failing. So another source for problems is also, those of you who have worked, especially on the NAs, you know that white wire with the red stripe that's very useful for pulling power for switch devices? Yeah, that's all going through the main relay. That is the main relay circuit. So throwing extra gauges and stuff like that on there, it all adds up. So there's a couple of things you can do about that. One is we do sell replacement main relays, both of the original spec, the early spec that was I think up to 96, and also the later spec that is rated at I think 80 amps or something like that, that was used from 97 on, and you can just keep one in your glove box. I had one in the Targa car when that failure happened on the stage, but by the time we'd stopped, found a safe place, put out all of our cones, diagnosed the problem, replaced it, got back on the road, it wouldn't make any difference. But that is one way to do it, is just simply keep a spare in the glove box and know what the failure looks like. But if you're running a competition car, such as in the Targa Newfoundland, such as in the 25 Hours of Thunderhill, One Lap of America, whatever it is you're running, you can't necessarily afford a failure. And so that's where this kit comes in. This was designed by Andrew Kidd. Those of you on the forums might know him as Savington. He was the founder and operator of Track Speed Engineering and was one of the mad scientists behind multiple Thunderhill 25-hour winning cars. And this is designed as a system that will basically not allow failure. This is for a car that cannot be allowed to fail. It cannot just simply pull over on the side of the racetrack and swap out the main relay. This is designed to be a bulletproof solution. And what it does is it basically feeds power directly from the battery to the fuel pump when the fuel pump is turned on. So the main relay still does its job. It still sends a signal to the fuel pump. Well, it still sends power to the fuel pump saying, okay, it's okay to go. But when that power shows up, it's shunted through this relay, which is fed directly from the battery and basically has no other points in the system. And this is a 30 amp, I think it's a 30 amp rated Yeah, 30 amp rated relay, automotive grade relay. As you can see, just even the way that the connectors go in, it's not just your usual spade terminals stuck inside a parts store relay that you bought off the little shelf by the register. This is a proper automotive grade relay with latching terminals and everything like that. Mil-spec wire, all the terminals are already on there, so it's basically you take apart the factory connector, put these in. And it is also fused as well. There's a fuse inside here that I think is a 20 amp, which should be more than enough for any fuel pump you put in a Miata. And that's the goal of this kit, is to basically take away the potential of a main relay failure, because you can't afford main relay failures when you're in the middle of the 25 hours of Thunderhill. When Andrew decided to shut down Track Speed as a retail business, we took over the manufacture and production of this item from him because it's such a good piece. So this is now exclusive to Flyin Miata, thanks to Andrew's work. So there are some generic kits out there that do this kind of thing as well. They tend to use generic parts. For example, they don't necessarily have the ring terminals already soldered, already crimped on with heat shrink. They don't have the correct terminals in place to simply drop into the factory connector. They're designed for use in a large number of cars. They use lower quality relays, lower quality connectors. Basically, you know, if you're a drag racer, for example, you don't want your fuel pump to fail, but if it does, not the end of the world. Not something I would use on a competition car, but if you are worried about it and you can accept a slightly greater risk of failure from generic parts being repurposed, that is an option. This is the top line. If you want to win the Thunderhill 25, you've probably got one of these stashed away. Okay, one of the questions we had is if the parts are available online, the bits and pieces, if you do need to replace something. Well, the fuse itself is a standard micro fuse. That's obviously, you can pick that up anywhere. And that's the most likely thing to go. If you have a problem, the fuse is designed to go first. If you do need to replace the relay, they are available. You can search them on the part numbers. You're not going to find them in AutoZone so much, but they are available online from quality electronic suppliers. So that stuff is available. One of the other, do we have any questions over there, Mike? Sorry. One of the other questions is, should you remove the factory relay and put this in its place? And the answer is no, because it's not a replacement for a factory relay. It's a supplement. The factory relay is still needed to turn the injectors on, still needed to turn the ECU on, the emissions bits and pieces that it runs. So it is still necessary. But now, instead of the current for the fuel pump going through this poor little guy, the current for the fuel pump is going through this dedicated relay instead. So they work together. One of the questions is also, what size pumps need this? We've seen enough failures, excuse me, we've seen enough failures of these on stock cars to start considering this to be sort of a ticking time bomb on any NA or NB Miata by this point. They're getting old enough, time marches on, they are all at risk, but the bigger the pump you put on and the higher the fuel pressure you're running, because the load from the pump goes up with fuel pressure. And the less you can accept a failure, the more likely you are to need one of these. About that fuel pressure thing, the DW300, I mentioned it pulls 12 amps at 40 PSI. At 80 PSI, it's pulling 14.4. So it's gone up by, what's that, 15% or so by increasing the fuel pressure. And a clogged fuel filter can do the same thing. If you have a clogged up fuel filter, that'll make the pump work harder, makes it draw more current, and that just puts the load and everything else that it's attached to. So, yeah. One of the questions is, how do I know if I need this? And it comes down to your requirements. If you need your car to be 100% anvil reliable, this is a very good upgrade to do. If you've got a street car you drive once in a while and it doesn't really matter if it breaks down on the side of the road, you're less of a need for this. So you make that call yourself. And the other question is, what is the best way to mount the kit for a street car trying to keep a clean OEM look? Now this mounts basically right by, or yeah, usually you would mount this underneath the rear deck where the fuel pump lives, which is underneath the carpet on the back behind the rear seat, or the rear seat, or the front seat, whichever one. So it's not visible at all when it's installed. It's got mounting points so you can tie it down where it goes, and it runs, this red wire runs back to the battery. So this is the only, when it's installed, the red wire with the, well, the battery and the fuse is the only thing you could possibly see. So it's pretty easy to install and keep an OEM look. It's going to be more subtle than your average stereo install, for example. Do we have a question over there, Mike? No questions. This is easy. Well, the last questions on here is, are you ever going back to Targa, Newfoundland again? And I can tell you that I have rewired my car so it no longer even has a main relay. That thing is gone, thank goodness. I was trying to run, I don't think the coils went through it, but I was trying to run a very big pump on a car that was working very hard. So it's not surprising. I wish I'd known then about the existence of this particular kit, or I don't even think this kit existed at the time, but I wish I'd known then. We do not have any plans to go back to Targa, Newfoundland at the moment. I'd like to. It's undergoing a real resurgence right now. The event's coming back for the first time in a few years after various shutdowns, and it's looking like it's going to be a good one. Unfortunately, probably won't be there just because it's a long way to go and a lot of money to spend. So, Mike, you have a question.
Are there any Miatas that are more susceptible or would be more likely to need that kit, like your ranges of Miatas?
So the question is, are there any Miatas that are more likely to need this kit? Basically is like an 01 Miata less, is it somehow stronger in this regard? I would say the earlier cars most likely, partly because they're going to have more corrosion on the various terminals if you're not lucky, just because they've got an extra few years of head start on getting that done. But also the later cars did come with a burlier main relay, but that only helps if it's not burning out internally, if it's having problems with the connectors overheating, and we've actually seen them melt some of the connectors in the fuse box. That's not going to help you there. So I would just simply go by age and overall corrosion, and also use. If it's been running a high pressure fuel pump, if you've been running an FPR for years, or if you are running a big fuel pump to feed a very thirsty engine, those are the cars that are going to be more prone to it. I don't think we can say that 1990s are more likely to need it than 2003s. I think it's NA, and NB is more likely to need this depending on their expected use, depending on what they're for. These are in stock in Flyin Miata at the time we shoot this, by the way. We try to keep them in stock all the time, but we do have them on the shelf right now. Anything else, Mike? Nope. Okay. Well, if you have any questions, hopefully that's been helpful to you. Explains why this is a useful part, especially for competition cars. If you have any questions, please throw them in the comments. And as always, if you like this sort of content, like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. You've been around. Obviously, it's going to be too late for us to answer them live, but we will try to answer your questions in the comments. And if you do have questions about this kit that say installation, the instructions are on our website, but our customer service team is always able to give you a hand if you have questions about your specific application or how to make it happen. So that's it for today. My name is Keith Tanner from Flyin Miata. Thanks for your attention. We'll see you again soon.